Shabbat Shalom. We welcome Shabbat with the lighting of candles on page 120. Who would like to light the candles? Renee, you raised your hand. Thank you.
We saw.
I'm freezing. That's okay. This will be warm.
Good. Good. Henry, the heating man, will adjust the temperature.
Yeah. There's one match. I've only got one shot at this.
Okay.
Yeah. It's okay, as long as one candle stays lit, we'll
Light
be
one
fine.
candle.
Nobody breathe. Oh,
Uh-oh.
who breathed?
Well,
I think there's a lighter in the kitchen.
anybody else have matches?
Let's see.
Do you know where it is? Maybe?
In the drawer on the end of the butcher block. The butcher block.
See, there was a time when you just asked for smokers for a big lighter.
In the meantime, Rabbi Nico is in Mexico where it's warm with the family. There's a beautiful picture of Noga and the children this morning on Facebook, and he will be on vacation for a couple of weeks. So it's my honor to be your Shlicha HaTzibur, the messenger of prayer of the community. And I don't even know, do we have a minion? 1, 2, 3, 4. Good. So,
The heat's on.
the heat is on. Thank you, Henry. Did you,
They're both kind of finicky, so.
see, someday you'll be able to light the candles with your phone too.
Here.
We could use virtual.
Somebody sell a case that does that.
There is an app.
Yeah.
That never works for me.
Okay, Renee.
That's why I brought two.
Okay.
They're both a little finicky, but I swear, one
There
more.
we
There we
go.
go, okay.
And then there was light.
That's a different Torah portion. Okay. And of course, the heat went on, which makes the wind blow, which will,
Oi, oi.
there's one. We were waiting for you, Susan.
It's like we're still celebrating. Oh,
Amen.
This day? No?
Just trade candles.
Yeah, you could swap.
It's the principle of thing.
I think they like stick them in there now.
Well, okay.
Close enough.
2 candles are lit. Let's
Two
continue.
candles are lit. We welcome Shabbat as we would if she were a bride on page 129, Lecha Dodi.
Wait, that's skipping so many things.
Really? Dodi Lee, I'm sorry. Let's try Dodi Lee instead.
There you go.
That was the song I walked down the aisle to, so I always have beautiful memories of that one. That beautiful. Page 130, Lechu Niranana, come let us sing joyously to Adonai.
Lechu neranana, l'Adonai, Naria, letzor yishenu, nekad mafanav, betoda, bizmirot, nari halo.
Shiru l'Adonai, shir chadash, shiru l'Adonai, kol haaretz, shiru l'Adonai, basru shemo, basru miyom leyom, Yeshuato, zapru v'goyim kevodo, b'chol ha'arim niflata, elai ki gadol Adonai, u'me'olam me'od, norahu. Kol Elohim, Yai, Kol Elohim, Elilim, V'Adonai Shamayim asa, od ve'adar lefanav, oz ve'tiferet be'mikdasho, Elai, 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 Yismechu hashamayim v'tagel haaretz, Iram hayam, u'melo, yalov sadai, v'chol asher bo, Elai, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom. Since we have sung Shabbat Shalom, we greet each other for a moment with Shabbat Shalom. You can turn around, introduce yourself to somebody you may not know. We could all be on the, I know, but we could sit all in the front row and be like a library minion. There we go. Okay, we continue on page 134, Zamru l'Adonai Bechinor.
Zamru l'Adonai bechinor, bechinor b'kol zimra, b'chatzot b'kol shofar, hariyu lifnei HaMelech Adonai, Ira
we can do Lecha Dodi. On page 138, we will do verses 1 to, let's see, 5, 6, and then when we get to verse 9, we will rise and face the door as that door, as if
Not that door.
symbolically welcoming the Sabbath bride. Lecha Dodi. We complete the Kabbalat Shabbat section of our service, the welcoming of Shabbat, with Mizmor Shir Le'Yom HaShabbat, page 140.
Mizmor Shir Le'Yom HaShabbat, Tov Le'odot Adonai, Ulezamer L'Shimcha Elyon, Ulezamer L'Shimcha Elyon, Lehagid Baboker Chastecha, Ve'emunatcha baleilot, Alei asod alei navel, Alei higayon vechinot, Tzadik katamar yifrach, Ke'erez balevonon yizkeh, Shetulim bebeit Adonai, Bechatzrot Eloheinu yafrichu, Od yenovun b'seva, Deshenim v'rananim giyu, Le'agid ki yashar Adonai, Tzuri v'lo avlat abo.
We separate Kabbalat Shabbat from Arvit with the Chatzi Kaddish, page 144.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה, ועמד יברח חירותי וימליך מלכותי, בחייכם וביומכם ובחיי דכל בית ישראל. ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתעלה שמי קודשו
בריחו
לילה מן כה וחטא ושירתה
תושבחתה ונחמתה
תמירן בעלמה ואמרו אמן.
Our call to worship, the Baruch Hu, is on page 146. Please rise. You may be seated. Yesterday was the winter solstice, December 21st, the day on which there is the most darkness of the entire year. And so with that in mind, and being that we now increase the amount of light in our day, we read together at the bottom of page 149. This is an hour of change. Within it we stand uncertain on the border of light. Shall we draw back or cross over? Where shall our hearts turn? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? This is the hour of change, and within it we stand quietly on the border of light. What lies before us? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? Baruch atah Adonai, Hama'ariv Aravim. Ahavat Olam, page 150.
אהבת עולם בית ישראל עמך אהבת תורה ומצוות חוקים ומשפטים אותנו לימדת על כן אדוני אלוהינו בשוכבנו ובקומנו Baruch atah Adonai ohev amo Yisrael.
We now turn to the sentence that is said 3 times a day and at other crucial times in our lives. We think about the oneness of God and all that that oneness means. Unique, alone, standing in solitude. Even when we have others to whom we feel very close, we still travel journeys of our lives alone. We turn to God at these times and acknowledge that our God is named Adonai. And it started with Jacob, who turned to Yisrael. And we carry on our shoulders that name and pass it on to generations forward. We breathe in the oneness. And together we utter those words, those 6 words.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
We read together in the middle of page 154, knowing that we have acknowledged God's existence, and now God tells us how we can carry that forward. You shall love Adonai your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your might. Take to heart these instructions with which I charge you this day. Impress them upon your children. Recite them when you stay at home and when you are away, when you lie down and when you get up. Bind them as a sign on your hand and let them serve as a symbol on your forehead. Inscribe them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates. Thus you shall remember to observe all my commandments and to be holy to your God. I am Adonai, your God, who brought you out of Egypt to be your God. I am Adonai, your God.
Adonai Elohechem Amen.
We continue silently on page 156. When your children witnessed your dominance, they praised your name in gratitude, and they accepted your sovereignty. Moses, Miriam, and all Israel sang to you together, lifting their voices joyously, Mi chamocha, as they approached the sea.
Lai, 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 lai,
ta Adonai ga'al Yisrael.
I can imagine the children of Israel having crossed the sea, coming across to the other side. Miriam and the women danced with their timbrels, and now they face the desert. It's the first night. They set up their camps, and all of a sudden reality sets in. They no longer have the slavery. They no longer have that safety of being under Pharaoh's watch. This is the real thing. And they have fear of being alone. Even though there were thousands of them, they still look up at the sky and wonder where their journey will take them. And so they ask for the shelter of peace, for protection from the elements that they will face as they walk through the desert. Just like the lullabies that our parents sang to us when we were children, this is a lullaby asking God to keep us safe throughout the night. Hashkivenu.
Sometimes I lay under the moon and thank God I'm breathing. Then I pray, don't take me soon, 'cause I am here for a reason. Sometimes in my tears I drown, but I never let it get me down. So when negativity surrounds, I know someday it'll all turn around, because all my life I've been waiting for, I've been praying for the people to say that we don't want to fight no more. There'll be no more war, and our children will pray one day, one day, one day, one day, one day, one day.
Ashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu Shalom, v'hamidenu Shomreinu Lechaim. Ashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu Shalom, v'hamidenu Shomreinu Lechaim, ufros aleinu. Sukkot shlomecha, v'tokneinu b'etzah tova milefanecha. Ashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu Shalom, v'hamidenu Shomreinu Lechaim. Ashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu Shalom, v'hamidenu Shomreinu Lechaim.
So if the whole week we are in the desert and we're walking and it's hot and the work is hard, we come to Shabbat, our oasis in time, as Abraham Joshua Heschel calls it, our palace in time. We spend the whole week engaged in material things and space. And we take this time, these 25 hours, and we concentrate on rejuvenation, J-E-W.
I like that.
Yeah. Rejuvenation and recreation of ourselves, our ultimate selves, so that we can become the best people we can to serve ourselves, to serve the world in the week ahead. Vishamru, on chapter 31 of Exodus, commands us while we are in the desert to observe and guard and keep Shabbat, because just as we keep Shabbat, so has Shabbat keeping us.
ושמרו ובני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. איי 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 ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, וביום השביעי שבת ויהי נפש. איי 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 איי
We rise for the Amidah, page 164.
Adonai, Sefatai tiftach, ufi yagit tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your
May the one who makes peace in the high heavens make peace for us, for all Israel, and for all the world, those who inhabit the earth. Amen.
Ose shalom bimromav, Uyaseh shalom aleinu. Ose shalom bimromav, Uyaseh shalom aleinu. Ose shalom bimromav, Uyaseh shalom aleinu. Uyaseh shalom, Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Uyaseh shalom, Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam. Ose shalom bimromav, Uyaseh shalom aleinu. Ose shalom bimromav, Uyaseh shalom aleinu. Ose shalom bimromav, Uyaseh shalom aleinu. Uyaseh shalom, Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Uyaseh shalom, Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam. Uyaseh shalom, Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Uyaseh shalom, Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam.
We add to our prayer the words of the Mishaberach, the healing prayer, healing of body, healing of soul, those who suffer from internal strife, those who suffer from addictions. We bring to mind those in our lives, perhaps yourselves, and it's okay to ask for healing for yourself. We go around the room. If there's somebody whose name you would like to share, please feel free to do so, and we will bring them to mind as we sing the Mishaberach. Eric Van Rolt. For those mentioned and those we hold in our hearts, we join together in the Mishaberach, page 370.
May the source of
because I'm a very generous person, I offered Tony the opportunity to do our Devar Torah for tonight, and he graciously accepted the invitation. So it's my honor to share the bima with
Yay.
Tony Cipriano. And, oh, he's putting on a tallis even. Wow. Yeah, come on up. Enjoy.
Thanks. Shabbat shalom. I won't bore you, hopefully. As the parashat Vayegash begins, Joseph still has not revealed his identity to his brothers, with Joseph having framed his younger brother Benjamin for stealing his divining goblet and consequently declaring that as punishment, Benjamin will be enslaved in Egypt. His brother Judah now beseeches Joseph to enslave him instead. His plea comes after Judah reminds Joseph that he has an elderly father and describes in detail why Benjamin did not initially go down to Egypt with the brothers, and why, should he not return to Canaan, their father literally would die. Now, just prior to Joseph revealing his identity, he wasn't really sure if the brothers were just lying to him just to save Benjamin's neck. And their own necks, of course. But Joseph is so moved by Judah's love for Jacob and Benjamin that he is unable to hold back any longer. And after ordering that all but his brothers leave, he tells them in Hebrew that he is their brother Joseph. Then he asks, "Is my father really alive?" Now, the case may be that Joseph had initially set out seeking revenge for the hurt and loss of family that had been cast upon him by his brothers, only then to reveal himself to them, for the brothers to realize that not only are they telling the truth, but that he, their brother Joseph, and not an Egyptian official, is saving their brother Benjamin from a life of slavery. The very act of revenge is to satisfy one's own need for justice. But was it justice that was being exacted? In order to grasp a better understanding of this, we should take a look at the behavior that Joseph displayed prior to his being sold. Take, for example, a spoiled child that causes havoc in telling ill tales of his brothers to his father so that Jacob would commend him and hold him in high esteem, all the while looking unfavorably on the brothers. And then using his abilities to foresee events in the interpretation of his and others' dreams, set about to put himself on a pedestal by mere embellishments to further alienate his brothers from not only himself, but also that of their father Jacob. Let us not forget that the feelings of privilege were bestowed upon him by his father Jacob from when Joseph was born, and it sure appears as though Joseph used that to his advantage, even against his own brethren. And surely this must have brought feelings of animosity and jealousy towards him from the brothers. One has to wonder if the action of the brothers was in fact a negative reaction to rid themselves of the one who would continually cause them pain and embarrassment. Could Jacob, without realizing how he treated each of his children, be the one who caused all of the ill feelings throughout the camp in the first place? Now I ask you, how many times in our lives have we felt resentment and the want to exact retribution for either real or perceived acts against us? Have we ever looked within to see what our role may have been or may have contributed to the adverse reaction towards us by another? Have we been aware of how our actions affected others? Will the cycle never end? Will we forever hold onto secrets that by their very nature, if were not spread about, would cause considerable pain and heartache? The road to healing tends to be rocky and at times uncomfortable. We can choose to remain wallowing in the throes of internal misery, or we can choose to take the road less traveled and reveal ourselves and empty our closets that are filled with contempt and fear, to be able to see in ourselves what we are so willing to criticize in others. The very same road is the road to peace, inner peace, that when it permeates throughout our beings, our loads become lighter, and the baggage that we carry will no longer be a burden to weigh us down. When we achieve this, then it exudes in all of us, in all that we do, and by proxy falls upon those with whom we have contact. So when we say shalom, have a nice day, good evening, etc., and are conscious of what those words and the feelings behind those words mean, then we are embracing the love that God has given us, the willingness to follow the law, as is commanded in Leviticus, love thy neighbor as thyself, and the ability to share it with our brothers and sisters the way God has intended. I remind you of a song that I'm sure all of us had heard and probably sung ourselves. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as our Father, brothers all are we. Let me walk with my brother in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my solemn vow, to take each moment and live each moment. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Shabbat Shalom.
You can, not yet. We're not ready, not quite. Not yet. Yasher Koach, Tony, may you go from strength to strength. That was really beautiful. Anything but boring, not in the least, not. Our service continues on page 586 with the Aleinu. Please rise.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גאולה ליוצא בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הרצון, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגור עלינו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא, שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסר הארץ, ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינתו זו בגובים מרומים, הוא אלוהינו אינו, אמת מלכנו אפס זולתו, ככתוב בתורתו וידעת היום, והשבות אל לבביך, כי אדוני הוא האלוהים בשמיים ממעל, ועל הארץ מתחת. אין עוד ונאמר, והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
You may be seated. Except for Henry. I would like to now invite Henry Cohen to share names of our loved ones whose lives have ended on this earth, but whose souls live on in our memories.
So I first need to say that I'm looking at the Mishiberach list, and thank God there are a lot of people who are going to probably be coming off that list pretty soon. It's nice to see Gary here. We always, when you're not here, Gary, we miss you. So, but so there's that good news. So our Kaddish list for the first year of mourning is Tom Green, Sandy Mayer, Ann Lindsay, Laura Novak, Bob Ellis, Molly Goldman, Irving Fells, Howard Block, Beulah Strickler, Arlene Defrin, Sonny Goldman Kalina, Bobby Newman, Yetta Richmond, Marion Grossman, that's Grousman, Scott Talento, Evelyn Glick, Rita Stromberg, Deborah McDonald, Beatrice Burkowski, Lenore Freilich, Berech Dutkiewicz, Rosalind Goldsmith, Ellen Rose, Sheldon Cohen, Etta Brown, Al Dubin, David Eden, Joseph Soltz, Helen Freeman, Leonid Zmodiak, Sid Jacobs, Maria Zelda Walker, Callie Katz, Honey Weinstein, Jim Atkinson, Harvey Kalick, Norma Porter, Sam Sapira, Claire Mizraki, Ann Goldman Nowitz, Julie Tackney, Kim Van Winkle, Bill Wilson, Linda Mizrahi, Phyllis Fleischer Taylor, Rachel Wager Lacrosse, Sherry Mencher, Alan Solomon, Nettie Efron, Ruby Goldberg, Jean Pearl, Rachel Tsipkis. And this week, we're celebrating the yurtzites of Lillian Brown, Tilly Kopotow, Diane Ellenberg, Alma Ellis, Jacob Galubski, Edna Heim, Matley Kaplan, Elsbeth Kaufman, Robert Leverton, Sidney Levine, Richard Mann, Bessie Anna Mintz, Julius Mintz, Reuben Nordenberg, Lois Page, Pauline Page, Peter Rose, Jeanette Rubens, Devora Schildenkraut, Norman Schlossberg, Jack Schuster, Benjamin Schechter, Harry Sherman, Margaret Sherwood, Afoim Zuckerman, Ruth Van Leeuwen, Marcel Wheeler, Dora Wiener, Estelle Weiss, Blanche Zoman, and the Shloshim, first 30 days following the funeral, Carol Litt, sister-in-law of Max Litt, and Max should be home. He was supposed to come home yesterday from Detroit, where he was staying. He went to be with his brother, who was mourning the death of his wife. Betty Henderson, mother of Richard Henderson, Ronnie Henderson's mother-in-law.
Thank you.
So, you know, I got to tell you, this is the first time I've ever done this. I read the list, but I never announce the list. And it is a very emotional thing to actually mention the names of people you knew. And of course, I knew your mom. So thank you.
If you're in the Shiva period, the first 7 days of mourning, please rise. If you're in the first 30 days of mourning, first month, please rise. If you're in the first year of mourning, please rise. If you're in the first, no, that was the first year. If you're observing a Yort site this week, please rise. You may choose to join our mourners by rising, or you may choose to stay seated. As mourners, we say together, Yit Gadal, V'yit Kadash, Shemei Rabbah, Bal Ma Divrach Hirute, V'yamlich Malchute, B'chayechon Uvyomechon, Uvchaye Dechol Beit Yisrael, Ba'agala Uvizman Kariv, V'imru Amen. Yehei Shmei Rabbah Mevorach, Leolam Ulalmei Almaya. Yit Barach V'yishtabach, V'yit Pa'ar V'yitromam V'yit Naseh. V'yit Adar V'yit Aleh V'yit Halal, Shemei Dekudisha B'richu. La'elam min kol birchata v'shirata, tush bechata v'nechemata, da'amiran ve'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlomo rabba min shmaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru amen. Osei shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us and to all Israel, to which we say, Amen. You may be seated. You know, I have to tell you, it's been 33 years since my mother died. And that pain dulls over time. When they say time heals, it does heal. But when a friend puts their arm around you, when my mother's name is called or another loved one is called, it brings the pain to the surface, which is a good thing. It brings back the love. But so thank you, Henry. Thank you for that. So Hanukkah is over. Baruch Hashem. Yeah. I don't know which is worse, having Hanukkah Thanksgiving weekend, having it Christmas Eve like it was last year, or having it somewhere in the middle. It's caught up in no matter what. There are always holidays. And to look around and see our friends and our non-Jewish community members rushing around and trying to get everything done before the holiday, it makes me grateful that I'm a Jew. So now that Hanukkah is over, we look forward to the arrival of 2018. And our 2018 calendar is so full of wonderful, wonderful things to share with you. I have to tell you that in January, we have 3 adult education events amongst all the other things that are happening. And 2 of them have posters outside in the foyer. The third one, not yet. The 13th, we will have our Chocolate Fantasy Luncheon. Chocolate is not for lunch, it's for dessert. But we welcome Rabbi Deborah Prince, who wrote Jews on the Chocolate Trail, and Judy Kanziger arranged for that. Thank you, Judy. She is organizing the lunch, and we will be having a chocolate baking contest. So if you have a recipe for something chocolate, please feel free to enter, although I'm going to win. And yeah. Judy's, Rabbi Prince will be selling copies of her book, but they are available in the office, Jews on the Chocolate Trail. So if you'd like to get a copy of it, we've matched the Amazon price, and you can get a head start on reading it. So we're looking forward to that. On the 17th, We are participating in this year's Orange County Community Scholars Program by hosting Professor Yossi Chayut, although it looks on paper like Chayes, which is the Yiddish pronunciation. He is a professor in Israel. He happened to be Rabbi Nico's professor, and he's going to be talking about Dybbuk's and goblins and something else. Oh my! And so that's the title, Dybbuk's and whatever. So that's on the 17th, Wednesday night at 7 o'clock. Then on the 28th, if that's a Sunday, we kick off a series called Being Human. Rabbi Nico and the Jewish Substance Abuse Task Force worked together, and we received a grant to put together a wonderful series of 5 speakers. The first one is on Sunday, the 28th of January, Rabbi Bradley Shavit Artson, who I had the privilege of working with at Congregation Eilat. He is the dean of the Rabbinic School at American Jewish University, and he's an absolute doll, and he's a scholar. He will be talking about learning disabilities and other drifting versus making it through tough times. And then in February, we'll be welcoming another speaker. We have one every month, ending in June with Rabbi Denise Egger, who is the first openly Reform rabbi who, right after Prop 8 was defeated, she performed the first gay marriage in Los Angeles. So there will be something in the scroll that I'm working on right now. Well, not right now, but all day long today. It will be mailed out on Tuesday, and so by the end of the week, you will have all the information about the Being Human series, and it's just going to be amazing. We have many other speakers throughout the spring and winter. On your program for tonight, you will see that Friday, January 12th, our service will begin at 7:30 p.m. We are going to be offering once a month, on the second Friday of the month, a 7:30 service instead of 6:30. Several people approached us and asked for a later service, and so we have heard your voice. I know, Carolyn, you also wanted, well, for Shabbat dinner purposes. So we heard your voices, if you are part of that group, and we will see what it looks like, whether more people are able to join us at 7:30 than at 6:30. So you can keep an eye on that. Other events, check the scroll, check our website. Gary has an announcement about on the 24th. On Sunday, this Sunday, Movie Mavens. We're watching The Producers. Yes, we are. All right. Any other announcements? Next Friday night, Mark Silverstein is going to be doing our Devar Torah. We look forward to hearing Mark. You've got a tough act to follow. Yes, you do. Okay, please join us after services in the social hall. We have a beautiful oneg, lots of food for a small but mighty and hopefully hungry crowd. Our closing song will be...
Do you want to do Hine Matov?
Sure, we can do Hine Matov. Hine Matov. If you don't know the words, just hum along. If you'd like to stand and embrace your neighbor, or we could sing Let There Be Peace on Earth.
Hine matov u'manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov u'manayim, shevet achim gam yachad.
Thank you to Allie, thank you to Sarah, thank you Elijah. And anybody else that's in there?